with Erica Jane in the first place, is her abject defiance to everything. But I think in this case, I don't. I think we should only be hearing about the victims. I think that's the only thing that should be talk. I think that should be everyone's concern, Erica Jane included, is the victims.
Yes, I would agree with that. What about Lisa Rinna? You know, people are saying, look, we have New York without Bethany, we have Atlanta without Nene. Lisa will go down, I think, in history as one of the best of all time. But
Best of all time. Don't you ever talk about Harry.
Right? Like, but people are saying, you know, it's time. It's time for Lisa to just move on. Do you agree with this sentiment?
No, no. I think Lisa. I think Lisa should always be attached to all the housewives. I was at Andy Cohen's baby shower, and I saw in person, firsthand, Lisa Rinna's performance there. You know,
It was
Lisa should always be a part of all Housewives franchises.
What are your thoughts if, you know, Andy called you and pulled you and Rebecca aside? I'm sure. I mean, has this ever been floated by you that, you know, Rebecca Romijn would be a Real Housewife of Beverly
You know,
Hills?
I'll tell you honestly, my wife is not ready, and I don't know if my wife will ever be ready. My wife is much more private than I am. I'm ready to go. I've been training for this my whole life. I'm ready to take the hot house husband title from Mauricio. I'm ready to do it. I've been working on my tan. I'm ready to go. It's funny. I've thought about being a part of. You know, I did get invited to. We did get invited to Denise Richards' wedding, which was exciting because we got to watch the show happen, and we saw clusters of conversations and possibly differences happening, and it was really exciting for us. It was enthralling in fact, and my wife really bonded with Lisa Vanderpump at that wedding. They have a texting relationship with emojis, bitmojis, and everything, and it's super exciting. I would love to be a part of the franchise. It's really my wife that you should talk to. I don't need convincing. It's my wife that needs convincing. You know, there are other questions too with our kids because we have two children, and I know we have one daughter who would love for cameras to be around the house, but we have another daughter who's a little more shy, and I'm not sure it would be fair to my one kid who's a little shyer than my other kid. It's funny because when you are in a Housewives franchise, as a viewer, I believe you should show it all. I mean, everything. And that's why I always tip my hat to anyone who's on Bravo, not just the Housewives, but anyone who's on Below Deck, anyone who's on Vanderpump, anyone. If they're in après ski, I really tip my hat to them, and it's a lot to really bear yourself. It's a lot to show it all. It takes nerve, and I'm very appreciative. It's why I don't like to really say negative things. It's funny, you know, I do shows like yours, and it's like it would be easy to say like, give the earrings back. What are you thinking? You knew things But at the same time, I really do have respect for anyone who is willing to bare their lives to entertain us.
I would agree with that. No, I love like a traffic scene, a neighbor driving by.
I have to, I can't do this in my house because both of my children are on TikTok, and like there's no Wi-Fi in my house. So if you want like a clear image, which is the clearest image, I'm directly under a Wi-Fi, a 5G tower. Like I can feel it humming. I can feel it giving me COVID, and
Listen,
I'm like right under it.
I've seen you on certain Watch What Happens lives where the Wi-Fi wasn't as good. So I feel lucky
It's
that
terrible. It's terrible. I just have terrible Wi-Fi in my house. Please don't like message me. I paid for as fast a Wi-Fi as I can get. We just have slower Wi-Fi, and I have 2 teenage children who will not get off of TikTok. I realize certain governments are just like continually keeping TikTok on and just sucking all info out of my house. It's just like, this is as good as it gets, please.
no, you are doing fine. Before we move on from Housewives, because I have some more Love Boat questions before we wrap up, what do you think of this whole thing that with Kathy Hilton? You know, where like Rinna says that she had this whole thing, this whole meltdown, and Kathy says it's all exaggerated, and where do you stand on Kathy and versus Lisa?
I like Kathy Hilton a lot. I'm not. I don't know enough about the situation to really comment on it. I just don't know enough about the situation. To me, the juice is Erica Jane. To me, the juice is Erica Jane this season. I think that's. I think all other stories. I mean, I could just. I know you can't do this in a season. You have to have A, B, and C stories, But to me, it's all about Erica Jane. It's really all about Erica Jane.
Well, what about Erica
And
Jane?
I do want to say, I do want to say one other thing. It was really funny doing the Real Love Boat because my wife and I are huge Below Deck fans. And it was really funny because, Below Deck gets really pretty juicy, very juicy. And it's the quarters that everybody has to live in, the close quarters. So like my only experience with being at sea, I had never taken a cruise before, was watching. I mean, 20 seasons of Below Deck. How many seasons of Below Deck have there been between Mediterranean, between all of them? I mean, 20, 100. So it was. I'm really making the Real Love Boat. I really had Below Deck in my head the whole time. It was crazy.